Are you planning a trip to Stonehenge on your next cruise, maybe a British Isles cruise? Do you wonder if it's worth the long bus ride out there and back? Today I'm going to walk you through my cruise ship booked excursion to Stonehenge. I'm going to tell you what it cost, how the day went, and what I thought. Now before we begin, I have two things I want to mention. Number one, this is a video about a very specific tour I took to Stonehenge on my cruise. There are many other ways to see Stonehenge. There are many other things to see while you're at this particular port in Portland. This video is only about this particular tour in the hopes it will be helpful to someone planning a similar tour. This video today is about what I did, which was an excursion booked through the ship. First things first. This excursion took place while I was on a cruise to the British Isles on the Disney Magic. The cruise port we stopped in was Portland. This tour cost $179 per person. This is what the tour promised, and it was pretty simple. We were going to board a motor coach and drive for 2 hours out to Stonehenge, where we would have between 2 and 2.5 hours on our own. Then we were going to take the 2-hour bus ride back to the ship. Admission to the park was included, and a light snack was also included. This was not a guided tour. We were there on our own with plenty of signs to read and plenty of room to see the site at our own pace. This was a bucket list item for me, to go lay eyes on Stonehenge. Now, Stonehenge is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a natural stone circle. It was built sometime between 3000 BC and 1600 BC, which is earlier than the Egyptian pyramids. They believe it was built by no less than 3 different cultures, and some of the stones were dragged over 100 miles to the site. There's a lot of mystery surrounding Stonehenge. Nobody really knows the purpose. There are a lot of guesses, and there's a lot of books in the gift shop telling you about Stonehenge and what they know and what they think. It's also notable for its amazing geometry, considering how long ago it was made. There's a lot of questions as to where they found these stones and how they got them to the site and stood them up and arranged them so perfectly. There is a precise orientation to the rising and setting sun here. Stonehenge is located in Wiltshire, and as I mentioned, it's a 2-hour bus ride from the port out here. When we arrived, we were given a bag with some snacks in it. We were guided to the bus. It was an option to walk down to Stonehenge yourself, but it was a very long walk, about 20 minutes. Buses ran back and forth all day long. The stones were not always protected. There was a long period of time where you could just walk up to the stones, touch them, climb on them, sit on them. People used to spray paint them, chip off pieces to take home with them. People used to cook on here. All kinds of things happened here. I spent the majority of my 2 hours just circling the stones, looking at them from all different angles, and of course, reading a lot of the material that is put out there for you on signs, explaining what you're looking at, what the theories are about the stones, all kinds of information about the archaeological digs. It was amazing to stand there and look at Stonehenge in person. While you're at Stonehenge, you're going to want to allow time at the visitor center. You're going to walk back to the visitor center from the site or take the shuttle. There is a lot to see here, and a large part of the story of Stonehenge is told here. There are a lot of fascinating artifacts here as well, some of them from the Stonehenge builders. There is also a huge gift shop here with lots of fun things. You're also going to find a cafe here, and this was very busy, long line, but they had iced coffee, sandwiches, scones, snacks, lots of really nice things here. You could eat in the cafe if you could find a table, but there were spaces outside to eat as well. It was a beautiful day and a nice day to be outside. We had just over 2 hours overall, and I felt that was exactly the right amount of time. I saw everything I wanted to see, got plenty of time in the visitor center, and had time to just sit outside and take in the sun and the surroundings. Now, I will say I was kind of glad we didn't have a guide. A guide would have been very handy in walking you through and explaining everything to you while you stood there and telling you all of the extra things. But I really appreciated the room to just take it in at my own pace, explore the different areas of the visitor center when I was ready. I even went and looked at the sheep for a while. Lots of room to walk back and forth. It was a really perfect day. We left right on time, and then it was a 2-hour drive back to the port, and our tour was over. So, do I feel like this tour was worth $179? Absolutely. I don't know how I would have made it out to Stonehenge much more cheaply. I mean, I would have had to take the train, and then I would have had to take a cab each way from the train to the visitor center. I suppose that could have ended up being cheaper, but for me, the convenience was well worth it. I also liked the security of knowing that the ship would wait for us. If something happened, if we had a flat tire or we got a little bit delayed, the ship was not going to leave without us. When you sightsee on your own, normally things go fine and it's all great, but you never know. You never know what might happen. So I didn't want to take that chance, considering that Stonehenge was 2 hours away from the ship. A well-organized day, great way to go see Stonehenge and take that off my bucket list. For me, personally, this was well worth it, and well worth the time spent on the bus as well. We arrived back to the ship on time, and all in all, it was a terrific day. I got exactly what I wanted, a chance to run out to Stonehenge and look at it in person, take tons of pictures and video, and learn a little bit more about it, and come home with a refrigerator magnet. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that when we arrived at Stonehenge, we did not have a tour guide, but what we were told ahead of time was that there was an app we could download on our phone that would be an audio guide for us as we walked around the site. So that was an option. You did have to bring your own earbuds, but it was an option to download this app and get a guided tour of what you were seeing. Stonehenge is really out in the middle of nowhere. There is no easy way to just run over there on your own. Like I said, you could take the train, but you do have to take a taxi back and forth between the train station and the visitor center, and it's about a 10-mile difference. And you could also hire a private car. I don't know what that would cost, but it is 2 hours each way from the port. I enjoyed seeing the countryside almost as much as I enjoyed seeing Stonehenge. There were so many sheep everywhere, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. So, if you're considering a tour to Stonehenge on your port stop in Portland, I hope this video has been helpful, giving you a glimpse of what to expect and whether or not this tour might be right for you. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share out to your friends. Thank you so much for visiting. I will be making a lot of other videos like this whenever I go on a port excursion. I will share it here with you, all the details and pricing and some video, so that if you're planning something similar, this may be helpful to you in deciding if this is the right choice for you with your one port stop. Thank you so much for visiting, and have a great day, and enjoy your next cruise. Happy sailing!